What is going on, YouTube? So coming back today with my Virginia Cavaliers football preview for 2016. So talking about a team that went 4-8 overall last year, 3-5 in conference, good for 6th in the Coastal. So let's go and start with the first of my three key players. I'm going to start with the quarterback, Matt Johns. Long term, I don't know how Matt John's outlook is going to be. Well, he's going to be a senior, but long term, I don't know how this team's quarterback outlook is going to be, I guess is a better way to put it. With Kurt Banker coming in, if he didn't have to sit out the year, I'm assuming he'd be starting. Johns didn't necessarily play bad last year, but he did have a lot of interceptions, 20 touchdowns to 17 interceptions. He's going to have to be big this year, take this team in the right direction. If not, Connor Brewer's waiting right behind him to take that spot. So my second key player is the running back Taquan Mizzell, one of the key points of this offense. They have a decent stable of running backs. It all starts with Mizzell and then Daniel Ham, the redshirt junior, as a backup. This offense is just going to generally have to be better this year, move the ball a little bit better. And again, I think it starts with Mizzell. I think he is kind of the spark plug of the offense, and I do see him having somewhat of a big 2016, at least for Virginia. So, move over to the defensive side of the ball and Quinn Blanding. My third key player, best player along this Virginia defense. They've got some talent on this Virginia defense at almost every level. Tim Harris at cornerback I think he's a stud. So is Kelvin Rainey at safety. At linebacker, they got Micah Kaiser, very talented inside linebacker, leading that group. And then on the defensive line, they have Eli Handback and Dante Wilkins leading that group. Eli Handback, a redshirt freshman, coming in, see how he does. Andrew Brown starting opposite of him on the other defensive end spot. So move into the first of my two X factors. And I'm going to start with limiting turnovers. I mentioned earlier with how many turnovers Matt Johns had last year. He was a decent playmaker. His completion percentage was pretty good. I said this about Andrew Luck. I'm not comparing Matt Johns and Andrew Luck talent-wise, but he seems to be able to make something happen on almost every play, whether it is positive or negative. If he can just get down, I understand limiting the turnovers by 7 turnovers is a lot to say, but, if he could have gotten that interception number around 10, that would have been a very nice stat line last year, 2,810 yards, 20 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions. If he can do that in 2016, it'll go a long way towards Virginia being able to be bowl eligible this year. So my second X factor, which I haven't talked about this much, is Bronco Mendenhall. New coach coming in, taking over from Mike London. The Mike London reign wasn't very successful in Virginia. Bronco Mendenhall's first year is not, the schedule is not going to help him out at all. They have a very tough schedule inside the ACC. But I don't think it's anything that Mendenhall can't handle. He was a very solid coach at BYU, led them to multiple winning seasons, and I think he can do the same at UVA. So my trap game for UVA is UConn. A UConn team that will be talented this year. One of the better teams in the American Athletic Conference. They do have to go to East Hartford, Connecticut. Granted, I do think they will be favorites in that game. Their out-of-conference schedule isn't easy. They start out with Richmond. That one's not bad. But at Oregon, obviously that's not going to be too good for Virginia. And then Central Michigan is the other one that, Central Michigan's no pushover. They're a very good team out of the MAC. So move into my biggest game for UVA, and I think it's going to be Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech, obviously, biggest rival of Virginia. North Carolina is a decent one too, but not near as big as Virginia Tech. Final game of the season. I think this is a season that can come down to the final game for UVA once again. They were in that situation, I believe it was 2014, where it came down to the last game for Virginia Tech and Virginia to see who would be bowl eligible, and Virginia Tech ended up winning. I think it could be very similar to that season, but again, you got to wait and see. So, get into my record prediction for Virginia, and I think they're going to go 5-7. I know a lot of my previews in the last 2 days have been very similar to records in 2015. Granted, a lot of these teams that I'm talking about, mid-level to low-level Power 5 teams, don't really change that much year to year. Normally. Obviously, you always got your sleepers, but I'm not going to say Virginia goes 10-2 this year. I think they're going to be very close to a bowl game. I think they start off the season 3-2 and have a positive outlook. But again, I think it comes down to that final Virginia Tech and Georgia Tech games. And I think they only take one of the two. So that pretty much does it for my Virginia Cavaliers preview for 2016. So I will be coming back tomorrow with their rival Virginia Tech. I also have Illinois and Rutgers on deck. So that's pretty much it. See ya.